I focus on
because
policy.
you're so rich, you get to be above it.
It's nothing to do with wealth. It's policy, policy.
Proceeded to be Air Force.
Who cares about the plane?
Leaves the office.
Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
What matters is, why are all...
Clinton Jaws, I love watching Democrats try to debate Republicans. I don't want to ruin it for you, but Kevin O'Leary, Scott Jennings, they dismantle this panel. It is so good. It's one of the best episodes I've seen because I got enjoyment out of it. Let's watch. Guys, will you do me a favor and like this video? It's the only thing I care about. Your likes. And it makes the video go crazy. I just want to point this out because it grossed me out. You see this lady here, this little mama here? She's about to take a sip of her coffee. My pet peeve, listen to this. It actually makes me angry.
Between 2023 and 2024,
You can't control your gulping. It's disgusting. That drives me up the wall. It's my pet peeve. Could you imagine sitting around the kitchen table with her? I just wanted to point that out.
who came away
So gross. Okay, this is how it starts. Kevin O'Leary. They're talking about Biden. They're talking about Biden and his downfall, his dementia that we all knew that he had back in 2020. But for some reason, the liberals, they're just figuring it out now. And they're writing books about it. Oh, we didn't know.
This poor man was broken. And look what happened to the country, and look at how he's being beaten up. It's almost immoral what we're doing to him now, to sell books. I was there at the White House dinner watching this. The same reporters who didn't report on him are profiting from his decline. It's outrageous what they're doing.
Which dinner, by the way?
White House Correspondents' Dinner.
What? Oh, you're talking about
I was
just a few weeks ago.
Actually,
I
think we have an agreement.
But the idea that we did not know about this for the years leading up to the presidential campaign, we all saw it with our own eyes.
No, we didn't.
Video after video, speech after speech, statement after statement. The Hur report. The fact that we have people saying today, oh, I didn't know. We had no idea, is outrageous. That's number one. Number two, the cover-up is outrageous. And number three, people were arguing with a straight face that this man could serve 4 more years. If he were in office today, if he had somehow won and were in office today, you'd have the same people on TV today saying, he's fine. Behind closed doors, he's fine, and you know it.
And I want to tell you guys something. I don't think I've ever heard O'Leary scream. Well, it wasn't screaming. He gets really excited here. And Jennings says the funniest thing I've ever heard him say. So after hearing all that, Abby defends Biden. Biden was fine. He didn't make any mistakes.
We are still waiting for anyone to point out where Joe Biden had to make a professional decision or a presidential address where he was unable to do his job because of mental decline.
The Hur report, he had to testify. Robert Hur wrote in a report, I can't even charge this man because if I put him in front of a jury, they're going to say, oh, this is just a confused old man. We could never get a conviction. We had official government evidence that he was in cognitive decline. And what did the White House do? They smeared Robert Hur. They smeared him.
They did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with
do you not feel lied to? You guys, the Democrats who ran your party, who ran the White House, the people who lied to you as a journalist, do you not feel any sense of outrage about Karine or anybody else?
Scott, you're forgetting. You're sitting with CNN hosts. They ignored it.
We don't know what's going to be in the book, by the way. So there will be more. Much more.
We already know it. This guy here, he keeps on blabbing on and on and on. O'Leary, he just cuts him off. They're talking about Harris, and it's priceless.
I will tell you is that there are a large swath of the Democratic Party, and people are going to say whatever, who did not simply want you to skip over Kamala Harris to be the nominee. And so, yes,
you're not finishing this properly. I was here.
I'm not finishing my thought properly.
Now we're gonna talk about it.
No, you're not.
They did not run a process. They picked a loser, and she lost, and she got slaughtered because they didn't run a process.
Hold on.
Anybody could have done it.
First of all, like, let's just make sure that we maintain some respect
for
she's
Kamala
a loser?
Harris.
The former
I think,
Vice President
I
of the
think
United
referring
States.
to her as a loser.
She was never elected in the
She wins.
process.
I think
Yes, she
referring
was.
to her as
Not
a loser
She
is
should have run against
disrespectful.
other contenders.
And I think that we need to make sure that we have
that's
a
a
little bit of dignity.
that's a
You know-
and first and foremost and lastly
I
there's
gotta-
nothing about Kamala Harris that's a loser. Let's
Yeah,
just put it.
it's like-
Oh, I think there is. She lost big time.
You gotta.
She lost an election.
The
She
biggest
lost
the biggest.
She lost an
All
election.
right, listen, we are not going to hold on.
I'm not being
Hold on a
disrespectful.
second.
I'm talking
Yes, you
fact.
absolutely
She
are.
got slaughtered because
That's all they
they
got.
Hold
disavowed
on.
the process.
Hold on.
They
Kevin.
anointed her, and she
Kevin.
got slaughtered.
Kevin, I just want-
That's what
That was
happened.
the
We don't have to
process.
debate
Hold on a
fact.
second.
We do not have to debate fact.
Hold on a
Rules are
second,
the
Kevin.
facts, too.
Kevin,
Come on.
But you like
just
to
just
think
one
she
one
was
point of
horrific.
clarification. She was elected in the 2020
just
election
She
was not
along with
elected
Joe
as president of the
Biden.
United States
She was
because
the vice
She
president.
was anointed
she
into
was
that position.
elected
It's on the
in
ticket.
2020 on the same ticket as Joe Biden. So there's that.
It's hard
We
to
got to
tell
leave
the
it there for
truth.
this
She couldn't
conversation.
put
But
two
coming up
sentences
next,
together.
come on, Kevin.
true.
That is, we know that that's not true. Coming up next.
Right here, Abby Phillips. She's comparing the Trump kids to Hunter Biden. The Trump kids, they're getting towers built and golf courses, investing their money. And Abby's basically saying, you got mad at Hunter Biden, why aren't you getting mad at Trump's kids? This is what Scott Jennings says. And so far, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard him say. And then O'Leary, well, he freaks out. The whole panel freaks out. And it's good. It's good footage. I want to tell you guys something. I might be Jewish. Who goes through their entire life not knowing if they're Jewish or not? Me and my brother have had this argument for years. He tells me, Clint, our great whatever grandmother changed her name before she moved here. And it was a Jewish name. But I have to know, so I joined MyHeritage. And what I found out blew my mind. So I contacted them, and now they're my partner. It was easy. I entered my dad's name and then my mother's name. And it instantly created this family tree with basically no effort on my part. Because the site puts 33 billion records at your fingertips, making it the #1 family history service. I get up, I pour 2 cups of coffee, I go back to my computer, and wow. They have a button called Instant Discoveries. An entire line of my family showed up, which allows me to add a complete branch to my tree, just like that. And that's how I found my great-great-great-grandmother. I swear to you, this was the first time I have ever seen her. And then I did this to her picture. It even lets you animate them. Unbelievable. And guess what? My brother was right. She changed her name before she came here. I can see her real name. I'm still digging, but each time I do, I find out more of who I am. Scan the QR code that you see on the screen, or click the link in the description and get a free 14-day trial. You have a story. Uncover it. Use my link now and get a 14-day free trial.
But let me answer your question, the specific criticism about Hunter Biden. All the things you just mentioned, towers, golf courses, hotels, resorts, tangible things.
Cryptocurrency and meme coins, Scott. Don't forget those.
You do something, money exchanges hands, a service is provided, a tower is built, a golf course is developed. Can you name one tangible service other than finger paintings that Hunter Biden provided for any money that changed hands?
I do
You
think that
cannot.
is a,
You
I think
cannot.
it's a
And
fair
that's the difference.
critique of
that's
the
not
Hunter.
the- that's
I think
not-
it's a fair
but
critique
that's
of the
not
Hunter Biden of it
that's
all.
not
but
apples to
you're not.
apples.
But
It's exactly apples to apples. Skippity Doodah, he goes off again. O'Leary, he cuts him off again.
You have children, and no. And 1 second, Kevin, because you wanted to talk about Kevin O'Leary. You wanted to talk about Kamala Harris being mediocre. Donald Trump
Oh, no,
Jr.
she was worse than
Donald Trump Jr.
Stop.
and Donald Trump Jr. and what's the other one? Eric are the definition of what mediocre is. And what I'm saying is that now they are reaping the
Can I
benefits of
guide
their
you in a
father.
different direction?
Please.
Just for a moment,
No,
please.
guide me. I'm blind.
What
Guide me.
does this have to do with
do you have to
Middle
be so
East
patronizing?
policy? Please, just
Oh, no,
what?
please.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes,
What does
excuse
this
me.
have to do with the fact that he is trying to create a circle of friendship with the fastest growing
So good.
geographies in the world before China does?
but wait a second.
Wait, let me finish.
well,
On this trip, on this
Please,
I just want to introduce an idea. This has nothing to do with policy.
Go ahead. I'm locked in.
What does this have to do with policy?
One thing that I've heard for the last 4 or 5 years is anytime anyone had any criticism of the United States foreign policy in Gaza or whatever, is that these people would be being paid out by a resource-rich government that propped up and funded terrorism, which was over in Qatar. Every single time, they were buying influence in Ivy League schools. They were buying influence in social media. They were buying influence everywhere. So anytime you saw somebody
You wanna
that
push these countries away. You
were
wanna
saying
push
that
these-
anytime somebody was thought to have any dealings with the Qataris, they were thought as being intellectually and morally tainted. Except the President of the United States, who takes a $400 million plane from them, literally is refurbishing it to be Air Force.
Who cares about the plane? What does that have to do with the fact?
Because it's
You got it.
disgusting.
Wait a second.
Because it's
You know what?
Shut him up.
I don't get it. Why focus on something that is irrelevant to the policy?
It's
of the
not
region?
irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant.
How is it irrelevant?
Would you rather have the Chinese there?
So
Would
they-
you
so-
rather have them there?
Kevin, the United States Constitution
It's irrelevant.
would like to have
No,
a word.
it's
The United States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care.
Yeah, it's
right?
people care because
the
of the
reason that
Constitution.
that's in the Constitution is to prevent the president of the United States from accepting things
What's
that
the
are
goal
being
of the trip?
that are being perceived
What's the
as
goal?
as bribes.
What is the national
The goal of the
this
trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have
That's
to
not-
distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome. It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
What matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys
Have
on this
you
trip?
heard of the emoluments
Scott's
clause?
the only one he
Wait.
doesn't-
Why do
You got to see their faces when he says this, when he calls her that.
you have
That's
to
not-
distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome? It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
What matters
Kevin.
is, why are all these AI guys
Have
on this
you
trip?
heard of the
Scott.
emoluments
Scott's
clause?
the only one he doesn't-
Why do you have all the leaders?
Kevin, no,
of-
seriously, it's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause? Do you understand that that is in the Constitution?
He doesn't. No.
No,
And do
listen,
you
I-
understand that
I
even if
don't-
you
I
think
don't-
that maybe it might
debating
be okay,
how many fairies
it's
dance on a
still-
pin
it's
does
still
How many fairies dance on a
legally
pin?
incredibly dubious.
Where do you
So
go
let me
with
ask you a
that?
question.
right?
So can I?
Hold on,
So
but
I'm sorry.
hold on.
I'm
Let me
hearing
just say, but
Oh,
Kevin
yeah.
doesn't operate by the same morals and ethics and values that we're
I'm
talking
above
about.
that. I focus
because
on
you're
policy.
so rich, you get to be above it. That's
It's
so
nothing to
lovely.
do with wealth. It's policy, policy.
No, but here's the point about the policy. Let me make one point, fellas. Whew. If someone is willing to take a $400 million plane from a government,
Yeah.
that the kinds of things that
Love it.
Dan was talking about, people have said, even Ted Cruz had some issues with this. What else is he willing to do?
Smash hot hookers. Pretty obvious to me. Anyways, I enjoyed it. Wanted to share it to you. And now I gotta talk about my sponsor at the end of this, which is awesome. I love that site. My Heritage, guys, 14 free days. My what do you call it? My mother-in-law, she's seen my ad and she went home, she signed up. And she doesn't regret it. Do it today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.